Alrighty, okay, settle down, you guys. I know, Joker just made $1 billion worldwide at the box office. Impressive. And of course we're gonna make a sequel, because it doesn't love money. Alright, we need some ideas though for the sequel, and go.
It's a drama, just like the first movie, but this time Joker escapes from Arkham and...
Nah, that's kind of dumb. Okay.
Let's make it a drama, but instead of Harley Quinn, he's gotta face the
ridiculous.
Batman.
The Batman? Ridiculous.
Okay, fine, let's make it a movie musical.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes, promote this person. Promote them. A movie musical. Genius. What's going on, you guys? James here with another real review, and today I'm giving you my spoiler-free thoughts on Joker Folie Deux. Now, the title in French literally means madness for two. They're so clever, Todd Phillips. But the film itself is anything but genius, like we were just joking about in the intro. And I'm going to tell you why, but I left the theater thinking, what did I just watch? Now, the film released in theaters October 4th, so of course it's out for you to see it as well. And the movie stars Joaquin, who plays Arthur Fleck and considered the Joker, Lady Gaga, who plays Harley Quinzel, Lawtey, who plays Harvey Dent, Brendan Gleeson, the legend himself, and Catherine Kenner. And of course the movie's directed by Todd Phillips, who directed 2019's Joker. Now, if you're wondering, boy, I sound nasally. Well, yes, I am, and I have a headache right now. And it was most likely due to this movie, which has a premise that will likely surprise you. Now, you would never think after seeing the 2019 film that we would get here where the sequel is a jukebox musical, but it is. So before we get into my thoughts, and I give you my positives because there were some good takeaways, and my negatives, guys, thanks so much for stopping by the channel where I review movies, we recap TV like Love is Blind Week 1, which is now on the channel, and we talk a lot about the Dragon Prince. So hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, tap on that bell, like this video, and get loud down below in the comments, and let me know, which movie do you prefer? The first Joker or Joker Folie Deux? I like saying it. I feel French. Now, if you don't know much about the movie, without spoiling anything, the film surrounds, you guessed it, Joker, who's now on trial for his murders from the first film. While at Arkham's correctional facility, he meets Lee, who's also known as Harley Quinn, and she provides him a new purpose for living. But will Arthur Fleck continue to buy into his Joker persona, or will he leave that life behind? You would think after reading that we're getting an insane character study with lots of nuance. No, not really. But there are some positives like I mentioned, so let's get right into some of the takeaways that actually hold water, like, on a technical note, the film being shot very well. That shouldn't be a surprise to anyone after the first Joker, because the framing, the cinematography was on point, and that trend continues here with the sequel. The cinematographer here on set was Lawrence Sher. I hope I pronounced that correctly, but Lawrence Sher did a very good job at making the film, at least for the most part, feel like the first Joker, cinematically speaking. Now, of course, you have other elements, like it being a whole musical, that definitely doesn't feel like the first movie. However, the shots look good. I also liked how they framed Arthur and Harley on screen, for the most part in between the musical numbers. It did help that the visual storytelling was on point, so again, this is not a terrible area of the movie. And another area that does excel just like its predecessor is the music. Composer Hildur Gudnadottir is back again, and she crushed it. Hildur Gudnadottir had a great score in the first movie, very atmospheric, it felt grimy, and you feel that here when you don't get covers of familiar songs that are just incredibly poorly performed. But when we do have the composition playing, that's when the movie starts to feel like, oh, maybe we're getting somewhere, only to be pulled out of the experience very quickly. I actually like that we were able to feel this emotional weight within the first act of the film, where we see Arthur Fleck outside crying and laughing in the rain by himself. It was so cool because the music helped a ton. But for the most part, that's maybe where the music can only do so much, because then you have everything else. But I'm not getting negative yet. We got one more positive to talk about. And of course, you're probably thinking, what in the world happened to the film? I mean, the acting's got to be good, no? Yeah, you know, the acting's not terrible. Lady Gaga and Joaquin respectively have some decent moments in this movie. The performances are not bad. and they do show often why they are good actors. I'm talking about the fact that they have not chemistry together, I wouldn't even say that, but individually they have their moments, and I'm thinking, yeah, I can see why people do enjoy their acting, because I do too. And I have to say though, in regards to who's better, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, I'll do it. Lady Gaga is a little bit better than Joaquin here, but both of them don't have the best performance in the movie. Joaquin Phoenix does sort of take a step down from his performance in the first film, largely due in part to the fact that that boy can't sing. And I say that as a chairman of the Working on My Singing Voice Club. So with that, let's transition right into the negatives, because I've said all I can about this movie in terms of the good. Let's get into the bad. If you ask me, Todd Phillips might be a huge Shohei Ohtani fan because that boy took a huge swing, but unlike Shohei, he missed. The actual film being conceptually a movie musical never stuck well with me. But I said, let me give it a fair shake. Let me go in there with an open mind, and I hope I like it. I was talking to one of my friends and the rep for the movie ahead of time and told her, I hope I like this movie. But I didn't. The first Joker film is a drama very much grounded in a realistic setting, and I liked it. But to turn it into a jukebox musical, which means taking famous songs and covering them in the film, was a choice. And it was a wrong choice. Let's be honest here, you guys. Lady Gaga can sing. We know that. Joaquin Phoenix, I just don't see it and hear it clearly, because he really struggles here. And I felt that his singing moments were very grating to my ears, and not in the best way. And some people would say, oh, but Arthur Fleck wants to be a good singer and he knows he's not, so it's an artistic choice. No, I would disagree with that, because when the film is 90% musical, please, you have to perform well. A good movie musical really is known by a myriad of reasons, but one of them is its performers. That did not work, okay? The performances were bland, just like the set designs, super uninspired, and I really left every one of those moments thinking, when will it stop? Joker Folie also wastes the time of its audience, and that's one of the worst things a film can do, let alone a sequel to a movie that's really popular. The pacing is a complete slog. After the first 45 minutes, we begin to get introduced to those musical numbers, and I thought, okay, I hope it's not too often that we get thrown into these moments, but every time there's a scene where I'm getting into it a little bit, we get pulled out. The immersion is broken because of these musical numbers that just do not hit the mark for me. And most fans, in this screening at least, they were groaning audibly, and that's the first time in a very long time that I've heard that in an advanced screening. And I also not only heard fans groaning, but there were some press members next to me. Every time they were singing, they just threw their face into their hands. And I don't blame them. I don't, because I almost did the same thing. It's funny because there's a scene in the film where Harley Quinn tells Arthur Fleck, stop singing. And you know what? I agree. I wish they just stopped singing. And I hate to say it, but these are Cats level musical numbers, and I'm talking a live action film from years ago. Just ineffective, bland, and they unfortunately provide no real purpose for the film. I should have known the movie was going to be really weird after the first 5 minutes. We get introduced to this like cartoon, almost like a retelling of the events at the end of the first movie. This whole movie, I'm not going to lie, super side note, it just proved my worst fears, because I thought, do we need a sequel to Joker? We did not, okay? This movie unfortunately felt like it should have just been a part of the first movie. We don't actually get into what felt like a sequel until the very end of the film. And that's in the last 10 minutes. Okay, last 10 minutes of the movie, excluding the credits, but still. The film also unfortunately wastes the talent of Lady Gaga. Now listen, I'm not the biggest fan of her music in this world. I know bigger fans, but I've heard enough of her music to know that she can sing. And here, she's wasted in two ways. Number one, her acting. In Bradley Cooper's A Star is Born, she proved, hey, I'm a good actor, and she can command a scene. Here in Joker, it did feel like a lot of her scenes were either trimmed down, because in the trailer I noticed some clips that were not in the final product, but two, she was relegated to a supporting character in every definition of the word, yet she's billed as a top actor on every bit of marketing material. So if you're a top billed actor and you're getting supporting character development, what are we doing? I mean, seriously, the development for Harley Quinn was awful, was practically non-existent, and if you didn't know about Harley Quinn before this, you would come away thinking, why is this a revered villain in Batman's Rogues Gallery? Why? And the second way in which she's wasted is her singing. Did the team sit down and really ask, hey, how can we make Lady Gaga's musical moments seem as uninspired and lacking as much as possible? I'm not lying to you guys. There were some scenes where I'm thinking, yeah, I know Lady Gaga can sing, but man, this is not a good use of her talents. So the film unfortunately does waste her performance and her musical ability in this film. I will have to say, if it was not for her scenes alone, you wouldn't hardly know she's there. And like I mentioned earlier, Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix did not even give the best performances of the movie for me. The most consistent performance in this film was Lawtey, who plays Harvey Dent, and I hope I pronounced his name correctly. Lawley? Maybe it's Lawtey, sorry. But he was a saving grace, especially in some courtroom moments, because the film does turn a little bit into a courtroom drama, but it's not a good one. And another negative in this film is the ending, and I'm talking about, yes, that scene. If you know, you know, and I need you guys to, hopefully when you see this movie, let me know in the comments what you thought, because this is going to be the most divisive moment in the film, for sure. I will not spoil it. There are leaks out there, so be careful, but I'm on the side of the fence where I think this ending was pretty awfully executed, and it's a bad idea. Director Todd Phillips really tried to get too cute and creative with this ending. There was too much thinking that went into this ending. I'm not even kidding. There's a moment where I'm like, are y'all really connecting to that film? Why? It's unfortunately what happens when you get far too wrapped up in continuity within universes. Gosh, and that's all I'll say, because I'm not going to spoil anything here. And sadly, the final sequence in this film kills the entire movie. It feels like we went on this journey for absolutely nothing. So you're wasting our time with performances. The movie just does not work well as a movie musical, and it's just bland. So what does that leave you with? Well, I guess we'll get into my overall thoughts, because this movie is a complete dud. It is a waste of your time. If you want to watch it, wait for Max. Go watch The Wild Robot instead. I know, two different movies, but one's going to leave you in tears in a good way and make you feel good, and the other one is just going to make you confused, and you're going to walk out scratching your head thinking, how is this the idea that got greenlit for the Joker sequel? Part of me wants to believe that maybe one or two people disagreed with this and there were some opposing viewpoints during the storyboarding process, but it feels like everyone was bought into this film. And I don't know why Lady Gaga said at one point in her interview junket that this isn't a movie musical. My dad literally told me, he's like, hey, is this a movie musical? Because Gaga said it's not. Rest assured, it is. It's just not a good one. So if I had to rate it, it would get 1.5 out of 5 jokes for me. I'll tell you a funny joke. Joker Folie Deux, from beginning to end. The entire movie is just a big bowl of yikes. Like, the punchline is the film. It's so bad, guys. And I just really wish that this film either was reconceptualized at one point so that we would get a grounded, gritty drama like we got in the first film, or, and I hate to say this because talented people I know work on these movies, I just wish it was not made and they used their talents for something else, like a unique story, because this film just fails on every level. But there you have it, you guys. That's my real review of Joker Folie Deux. So let me know in the comments down below what you think of this film. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, because your boy's going to New York City for New York Comic Con, and the Sony Pictures panel is there. So we'll probably be talking a lot more about superheroes in October, at least the middle of this month. And y'all, thanks again so much for watching. God bless you guys, and I'll catch you at the next screening. Seriously, the best part of my Wednesday night was not that screening, it was buying some adobo. Louisa, so good.